Well, hello everyone. Welcome. Right. Can you guys hear me okay? I hope you can. Well, my name is Kelly Fincher, and I'm your host today, along with fabulous Mr. Evan Katz from Argen Canada. To introduce myself to all of you guys, I am the co-owner of Cosmetic Advantage Dental Lab in Dallas, Texas. We have 10 technicians, and we specialize in fixed restorations. But I'm actually also a digital workflow specialist for Rapid Shape, where I work alongside labs and clinicians to incorporate 3D printing into their companies. I started my career, as many of you did, probably in the model room, which was actually a job I really hated. But looking back, I realized how foundationally important it was for my career in the dental lab field. From that hate of the model room actually grew a really big passion for 3D printing. And now I love helping others incorporate it into their workplaces as well. But enough about me. Let me introduce Evan Katz, who's also joining me today to talk about how Rapid Shape has impacted his production at the Argen Canada Digital Center, also known as ACDC. Evan may not be a stranger to many of you joining us today, but to give you a little glimpse into who Evan is, he has over a decade of experience at Argen Canada. He is recognized as an expert in digital dentistry and specializes in CAD/CAM and 3D printing technologies. His technical expertise actually lies in optimizing digital workflows to enhance efficiency and productivity in dental laboratories. And Evan works closely with the Argen Global Development Team to shape strategies and develop innovative products that continue to advance digital dentistry. Evan, thank you so much for joining us today. We're excited to have you here.
Thank you, Kelly.
Yeah. Well, guys, without further ado, let's get the show started and introduce you to our solution for the bottleneck your lab is facing. So to tell you a little bit about Rapid Shape is a German-based company that was founded in 2011 and has been in the dental market since 2015. As you can see here from this slide, we have a really large portfolio of printers that can really meet every need, starting from desktop all the way to inline production with robotic arms. But today we're actually here to focus on two main items from our lineup.
Sorry, Kelly, I don't think your presentation's showing.
Oh, it's not?
No.
Oh, thank you. Okay. Sorry for the technical difficulties. There you go, guys. Are y'all able to see it now? Yeah, Evan's giving me a heads up. Okay, awesome. Sorry about that. Well, let me just get through to the next slide. Here we go. So here we go. Here's our portfolio of printers that we were just talking about. We go all the way from desktop printing all the way to our inline production. But the ones that we're mostly here to talk to you about today are our D50 and our Cure XL. The reason we are focusing on the D50 today is because it has a solution to what many labs are facing today, which is a bottleneck in production due to increasing demands in digital dentistry. And the solution to that bottleneck is automation. So when we think about automation in 3D printing, what we want to see is how do we reduce our touch points? Meaning, how do we reduce the amount of labor that goes into printing? If you're currently printing, you know that is an incredibly messy process and that a lot of labor goes into cleaning and post-processing and prepping for the next job to get started. With automation, we have the ability to streamline these tasks, minimize human touch, which if you've worked in the dental lab long enough, 99% of the time when things go wrong, it's human related or human introduced. Some of the key benefits that can stand out when you choose to bring automation into your printing workflow is that it allows your lab to increase productivity of your current labor force, reduce your errors, and increase your scalability without the need for additional personnel. So how does the D50 do this? And it does it with a few unique key features. So the first feature here that you probably saw in the video we just showed was the print job being cut off the build plate. This features what we call ASM, or automatic separation module. It enables continuous printing for up to 6 consecutive prints, and it literally removes the print and scrapes the build plate at the same time. The reason you only can get 6 prints into the basket is actually because it's assumed that your basket will be full if you're printing 6 full plates. But you have the ability at any time to come and empty that basket and reset it, and it will print for 6 more. So it has the ability to continuously print throughout your day and into the night. The second feature that I always like to point out is the automatic resin refill. Excuse me, that's a mouthful. This feature continuously supplies resin to the reservoir to ensure that you don't run out of resin while you're printing. One of the most common questions that I'm asked when people see it has this automatic refill is, how often do I mix my resin? And I actually always have 2 answers for that question. The first answer is that it depends on the resin, because guys, we all know this, not all resins are created equal. Some can have a more viscous consistency, or there are model resins that I've seen that separate easily and just require more mixing in general. My second answer to that question is that in my lab, we actually start every morning mixing the reservoir, and we shake the filler feeder bottle below, and then we don't touch it again. We print continuously, usually throughout the day, sometimes with some down periods, but we never find a need to mix or shake the bottle again. For those of you who might enjoy some more technical specifications on this particular printer, it is a DLP printer that has a 385 nanometer light wave. The print plate itself is roughly 9 inches by 5 inches, and it does have a 30 micron XY accuracy. One of my most favorite features that has nothing to do with automation on this printer is that it has an incredibly durable glass reservoir, and I will touch more a little bit on that the next slide. But connectivity wise, it has the ability to do Ethernet or Wi-Fi, but also most importantly, it has a USB. So you're never down, even if your internet is, you can still continue to print. It does have a heated chamber, has a huge validated resin library, and also comes with a 1-year warranty. You can see to the right, I did put the specifications of just how large this printer is, and you can see it in the background here. But it's actually quite robust and tall, with being 65 inches tall, and when the hood is open, it's 84 inches tall. These are a few of my absolute favorite features about this printer. The first being the glass reservoir. This glass reservoir is long lasting. It will last over 300 print jobs. It also is a tempered glass, and so you really never have any fear of a resin spill or a perforation like what you see with some of the reservoirs that have a thin film on them. It also will never lock you out. If you've hit a certain number of prints or a certain number of resin that's gone through the reservoir, it will allow you to make the decision on when you're ready to replace your reservoir. And the glass also allows it to print faster because it withstands the separating forces, and it can go faster with the peel rate. The other item on this is our perforated build platforms. They are unique in the fact that they do disperse resin less and allow us the resin to settle more quickly and also print faster. Another fun feature about it is that if you do print hollow models, you do not have to have holes in the sidewall because the resin's allowed to escape through the holes of the build plate instead of the holes of a model. So we are an open, validated printing system. As you can see, we have partnered with many big industry leaders in resin manufacturing. And so it gives you a wide variety to choose what you want to print and what resin you want to use, which is something I really value as a lab owner. I like the thought that I can try lots of different things, and I'm not locked into just maybe 1 or 2 different resins. So to give you guys a little bit of an example of what it looks like to print on a build plate this large, you can see that you can fit up to 18 denture bases vertically, and they'll print at 90 minutes at 100 microns. Models you can put comfortably 10 full arches. And at 50 microns, you're going to print them in 45 minutes. In my lab, we do a lot of digital implant models, and those typically take probably more like an hour 5 to an hour 20, depending on the height of those models because they are so tall. But again, that's at 50 microns, and we've just loved seeing our implant workflow really increase over the last year since bringing on these printers. You also can do surgical guides at 40 minutes and look at how many impression trays you can get on a single plate. Vertically, they print in a little over 2 hours. So now we're going to transition to a couple of case studies that showcase the D50. So to start you off, I thought it would be fun to show you a quick video welcoming you into my lab. So bear with me for just a second while we bring this video up for you guys. Hi everyone, welcome to CAD Lab. Come on in. All right. Okay. So here is my some pictures of our lab. You saw kind of from the video coming in, but this is what it looks like. This actually used to be a storage closet of mine that we converted into a print room because I just needed more room. And so this was one of the things that we did to kind of make this room more a part of our digital workflow. Bear with me 1 second. I have lost my notes and I want to be able to show that to you guys. So give me 1 second. I apologize. All right, hopefully you guys can see my screen now. So let's go back. Okay. So in talking about this room, so this is something we set up that really worked well for us. Just so you guys know, actually everything you see in this picture was purchased from Home Depot. So you can just show you can purchase something and make it work for you and your budget very easily. We get a lot of compliments on this room, and it was just purchased at a big box store. So my goal for you guys is watching today is that you have real life examples of what utilizing these machines look like within the walls of your laboratory. Many of you might actually be experiencing a labor shortage or hopefully even a better problem of having rapid growth and are seeking ways to do more with less. So my experience utilizing this printer has been transformative, and it has taken a job that used to be so time sensitive and turned it into one that is more adaptive to my workflow. No longer are there set timers to be returned like that tell me it's time to return to the print room so that the next job can be started. And it's really given me the freedom to go into the room at set intervals to move the cases along. So really, when you're thinking about bringing automation in, these are some of the questions we asked ourselves and that I encourage you to ask you. Does your printer run your productivity or you? Are you having to go into your print room every time it's complete so that you can take off the plate, clean the plate, and add it on? Have you actually looked at how much time your technicians are spending doing this post-processing? And all this time that you're spending, could it be utilized in another area of your lab and making your lab more productive and more efficient. And so these were areas that we really questioned, because I had a technician that pretty much utilized 3/4 of her day in our print room just start cleaning up and starting jobs. So when we brought in the printers, it really changed our workflow, because what happened for us is we actually had the ability to come into our print room, start whatever print jobs were ready, and then walk away. It was literally just a matter of a few minutes of nesting some models, sending them to the printer, and starting it. You can see here some of my these are actual screenshots of real print jobs in my lab. Some of them were super compact and had lots in it. And you can see one where I just had a set of models and a couple of dies. And what it happens is we actually just start what's there. We go in at certain times when it works with our workflow, and we start what we have, and we just don't have any downtime. And it's really made it about us controlling our productivity rather than a printer controlling it. So when we got our D50 in, we were so excited. And one of the most things that we loved was that we didn't have to refill our resin. But we quickly realized we had a problem, because I actually only bought 4-kilogram bottles of resin, right? I did not actually own a 1-kilogram bottle of resin. And you can see from this picture, the 1-kilogram bottle fits beautifully. And the 4-kilogram bottle, we had to remove the scale and push it to the side, and we don't have the tubing properly clicked in. And I mean, we're technicians, right? We'll figure it out and make it work. But I actually did end up purchasing a couple of 1-kilogram bottles for a few reasons. One, I liked the fit of it. It looks nice and it utilizes the equipment the way it should be. Two, I found it easier to monitor how much resin was in it, to mix it, to shake it, and to refill it using the 1-kilogram bottle. The third reason, and actually the most important reason I went to the 1-kilogram, was that when we were done with our printing and we were starting to pull our models out, we had a ton of resin that had dripped off into the pan. And I actually filter that resin and recycle it and put it back in the bottle. Now, I personally do not believe in pouring back into the large bottle, just because of like potential contamination risks. So by pouring it into a little 1-kilogram bottle, I feel like my risk is minimized, and it's been a very good fit for us. And so that's just kind of one area that what we do in our lab with this printer. Now I'm going to play a video for you guys, and this is a video of me actually having a print going and adding to the queue. You can actually see here that I have 4 jobs that are in the basket already printed. I have one that's currently printing, and then I actually have one that I've just added and it now says pending. So once I've added it, I confirm, and the screen goes right back to printing. I haven't interrupted anything. I've just made this part of my workflow that works when I'm in there and ready to move additional cases through. This is just a screenshot of that same printer and the job. And I wanted to kind of explain to you what this printer is showing. So over here, you can see that I have 1 hour and 2 minutes on my print job. It's going to be 510 layers, and it's got 30 layers that have been printed. You have the ability to turn on and off your ASM. So if for some reason you wanted to print something and leave it on the build plate, you have the ability in any point in your print to turn it off. Over here is actually where it monitors and shows you how much resin is in your reservoir. There is a sensor that actually points down into it and gives you live feedback. And so you can tell here it actually was just refilled, but you will see that drop down. And it's just a nice visual reminder. And then right here in the middle, we call this the heartbeat. This is actually what monitors the peel forces of your printer. And so if you don't see a heartbeat, something's wrong. Just know that that's your printer printing. And then lastly, this is just a picture of models that were cut off and put into the basket. It is just, I think this was 3 prints, and we have little strainers that help the resin just to drip off of them, and it helps our post-processing go a little faster. But I hope that you found this to be helpful and to really feel like you kind of were there looking at a printer and seeing what it could do for you guys. So now I'm going to hand over the reins to Evan so that he can show you what he's been up to at ACDC. And by the way, Evan, coolest logo ever.
Thank you, Kelly. Yeah, I'm really happy. I'm really happy to be presenting today, and I wanted to share what our experiences have been with the Rapid Shape workflow, specifically at our digital facility. Next slide, please. Perfect. For those who don't know, the Argen Canada Digital Center is a digital facility located in Toronto, Canada. We're just under 10,000 square feet. We've been running for about just over 3 years. And we offer a broad digital outsource offering, as well as hands-on training and national distribution throughout Canada. So where do we go with bite splints? So we started printing bite splints as an outsource service around 2.5 years ago. And we made a decision at the beginning that we would only offer a polished night guard. So whether it is a printed night guard or a milled night guard, we only offer a polished option. And on the back end, we developed a workflow that was so easy for our customers that it actually that our revenue from bite splits grew and continues to grow quarter over quarter. Bite splints have actually become an integral part of our revenue stream. And this service caters to laboratories that use us for a full outsource service, or for laboratories that use us for overflow manufacturing. So, every laboratory goes through highs and lows of manufacturing and busyness, and laboratories that require an outsourced service for us just as an additional option, we can offer that. I wanted to show a graph here. I wanted to show a graph of what our rapid growth looked like with bite splints. So this is over the last couple of years, and as you can see, it really went from what we would consider a smaller amount, and it continues to grow quarter over quarter. And so as we started to see the need for bite splints, and as we saw that this was becoming a real business for us, we needed to look at some other options for workflow. So printing and processing, 50 plus bite splints a day, and polishing them became labor intensive. Initially when we started, we had 4 or 5 bite splints. It didn't seem like it wasn't that big of a labor to go ahead and hand polish these. I mean, they had to go through a little bit of trimming, and then going through some pumice and high shine, but it did become quite labor intensive, and we needed to find a solution that was automated and still kept up our high quality expectations. As you've seen the slide before, the rapid growth was due to our high quality. And so in October of 2025, after months of internal testing, we decided to completely change our internal workflow to create massive labor efficiencies while putting less pressure on our manufacturing team. And I'm going to show you here exactly what we did. So the first thing that we did was we introduced the Rapid Shape D50 Plus, the Rapid Shape Wash, and the Rapid Shape Cure XL to ACDC. Kelly, Tom, and Tommy from Rapid Shape came to ACDC for 2 days to ensure that our manufacturing team were fully set up and trained, to make sure that they were set up for success. And this is some of our manufacturing team around the Rapid Shape D50 Plus, just for size. We have found that Rapid Shape support, the support channel has been proactive, and what ends up happening is when you purchase this printer, you get a 90-day coach. And in our situation, Kelly, who is presenting this, is our coach, and she has been amazing. Our team know exactly how to reach her, when to reach her, and she's been instrumental in building the efficiencies that we now currently have at ACDC. So as far as efficiencies, and I'm just going to highlight what Kelly had spoken about, is that the D50 does allow us to print up to 6 automated consecutive jobs in a row without the need for human interaction. And we end up doing this through the automatic separation module, or the ASM, and the automatic resin refill. This is very important here. So the front loading basket has been a game changer for us, because what it does is the basket is actually in the front of the printer, and so as it prints, if it's running through the third, fourth, or fifth print, you don't have to stop the printer to retrieve those prints. You can actually just, there's a little foot sensor at the bottom. You just, kind of like the back of your car, you just put your foot underneath it, it opens up, it continues to print, and you can just grab that basket. It's really important. This is very, very important for us, because it means that we don't have to wait for all these prints to finish. Um, when it comes to how we're printing, this is a typical job at ACDC. This is just how we load up the plate. In this specific instance, we have 19 splints. I think that if you had a Tetris master, they could likely fit on 7 or 8 more splints. But in general, as Kelly said, we just kind of, when they come in, we load up the printer and we start the job. So in this case here, this is 19 splints. We put them on around a 65 to 70 degree angle, and we have had great success with these. As far as print time for this specific job, it was 134 minutes, so just over 2 hours. That is printing at 100 microns using the crystal polish tray. This is also another photo, but with the bite splints. This is what our team typically comes to in the morning, where they open up the printer and they open up this basket, and all the prints are there. What you can't see is at the bottom of this basket is like a silicone plug, and that can be used to then filter out that resin. The resin that's in there can be used to filter out and reuse. So one of the things that I see in a lot of dental laboratories, and certainly at ACDC, is that post-processing really did become a bottleneck. And so I'll speak from our experience. So post-processing usually involves putting the parts into a post-cure unit for a set amount of time or a set amount of flashes. The typical post-cure containment units that we were using before are fairly small and usually allow 2 to 3 bite splints per session. For us, for the equipment that we were using, each session was 3 minutes and 20 seconds, 2 times. So 6 minutes and 40 seconds in total. And halfway through it, you had to kind of stop, you had to open up the machine, and you had to flip it. So what did we end up doing as we got busier? We just brought in multiple units. So we did find that multiple post-cure units certainly saved time. However, labor was still too much. Technicians were consistently waiting for the session to end so they could flip parts or add more parts. As Kelly said, she had a team member that was in that room 75% of the time, just waiting for the session to finish so that they could open up and flip it. And it really is quite the time suck. So this is just a quick graphic of what I'm talking about as far as post-cure time and the bottleneck. So in this situation, let's say, for instance, you're printing 50 bite splints a day. And in this situation, you are putting in 3 bite splints per curing session. What we were using before, it was a system that used flashes, and it was 4,000 flashes, which turned out to be 6 minutes and 40 seconds. And so when you actually do the math, the amount of actual cure time to print 50 splints using one machine at 3 models per machine was 1 hour and 51 minutes. That was actual curing time. That did not include the time to open it up, the time to flip everything over. So if you were to get like what we brought in 2 extra units. So it would be 1 hour and 51 minutes divided by 3. So you were still looking at, probably 45 to 50 minutes of time. Now you have 3 units, so you are employing someone to sit by those 3 units and constantly flip over the splints of the models like pancakes. And so this was for me one of the most important parts of developing more efficient labor streams at Argen Canada, which is to bring in the Cure XL. So the image on the left is the marketing image. The image on the right is what we have at ACDC. I ended up putting a bottle of Windex on there just to kind of show the size. It's quite large. As we open it up, it's full of mirrors, so it was a little bit hard to get this image without making it look like it was completely full. But for the most part, the area that's in that green rectangle is the capacity of this curing unit. Right now, in that photo, there are 32 bite splints. So with all of the empty space on the right, we've been able to get just over 50 bite splints in this curing unit. It does take a little bit of Tetris and a little bit of moving around, but the time savings are way worth it. Um, the other really nice thing about this is the Rapid Shape Cure XL, as well as the regular Cure, does have an onboard vacuum system which allows the curing chamber to become void of oxygen and therefore curing in an inert environment for certain biocompatible materials. So the materials that we use at ACDC, the biocompatible materials, do not require an inert environment. However, we do use an inert environment. Prior, we were using nitrogen, and now we're just using a lack of air. And here's the really important part. We're able to post cure 50 bite splints in 10 minutes. So before, something that was taking, hours and hours of labor, as well as hours and hours of time, we now can do it in 10 minutes. So it's basically 3 minutes to remove the oxygen, which again is not required. Once the oxygen is removed, the cure job starts, and it's for this specific resin, it is a 7-minute cure time. So we're getting 50 bite splints completely cured in 10 minutes. And most importantly for us is that there's no flipping of the parts due to the floating glass. So when you open up the curing unit, there's a slab of a very thin piece of glass that's just floating there. And what that does is it allows the light to penetrate all aspects of the part. When Kelly and Tom and Tommy were here, the first thing that we did was we printed a model, and it looked fantastic. This is Argen Model Pro Neutral Gray. And the second thing that we did was we printed a bite splint, and it fit really, really well. The technician in me wanted to see a little bit more, so I actually sliced the bite splint through the middle, and this is what we can see. This is what you can expect using the Rapid Shape workflow. You have a very accurate model, and you have a bite splint that fits intimately with that model. To me, this is a fantastic photo of what we can do. And here is the final product. These are what the bite splints from Argen Canada Digital Center look like prior to leaving. So with our workflow, and it's been like this for a while, and it continues to get better. Customers are telling me that they receive their bite splint from Argen Canada, they check it on the model, and they put it into another bag. It's really that simple.
These are absolutely gorgeous, Evan.
Thank you,
So,
Kelly.
and this was printed with a crystal polished reservoir with Keystone soft clear,
Yeah,
correct?
Keystone Soft Clear. That's correct.
Awesome. Yeah, these are just absolutely fabulous. Thank you so very much for showcasing what you're doing at ACDC. It's very impressive and amazing that you're doing so much, and you can see why your growth is just exponentially going off with that kind of a product.
Yeah,
Um,
thank you, Kelly. Appreciate all your support.
yeah, absolutely. So, guys, one of the things just to kind of touch base at the end of our webinar today is to talk about your support. Because I think you guys all know if you're running a lab, you're working in a lab, we know that our equipment is our lifeline, and we know that things go wrong and we need support with our equipment. And it's so important that we have the right partners in place to help us when we need them. If you guys already work with Argen, you know that they are a company that is for labs and about labs and gives phenomenal service. And they partner with companies that align with those ideals. And so here at Rapid Shape, it is important to us that you feel supported as well. And so we provide, like Evan already showcased, a 90-day coach with your printer purchase to ensure that you feel comfortable with your workflows and the new equipment that you bring into your space. You also get professional on-site training and installation. You also have an on-site 6-month visit from a technician to make sure that your printer is properly working and everything is looking good. We have a full repair coverage that is completely covered, along with your calibration sensor that is covered with your Care Plus plan for the first year, and you get continued support through your customer portal as well. This is a plan that can be extended past your 1 year if you so wish, but it's just nice to know that you have the option to have the support if you need it. One of the fun things that I always like to do when I'm doing a webinar is I try to put a personal touch, whether I show you a silly video or what's in my camera roll. But today I thought I would show you what I printed this morning. So we actually had several bottles that needed to go, and I told them that I had a webinar and they couldn't do it later. So we got in here a little early today and got several of our jobs going. But this is what it looks like. I had a technician that loaded up 4 jobs. They are printed, they are cut off, they are not touched. And it was all in a matter of minutes when they got in here and got everything going. And so I hope that you guys feel like this webinar really helped you feel like what it would be like to bring this type of equipment into your lab, and maybe you see an option and an opportunity for it to really make a change in your productivity and in your production. If you have any questions or think this is something you want to look into, I encourage you guys to reach out to your Argen reps. They know a lot about this stuff and would be happy to tell you a little bit more about it. Or if you want to spend some time with me and ask me some more questions, you can always scan this QR code, and please feel free to book some time with me, and I'll be happy to go over anything that you would like. I think now we're going to take a little bit of time to answer some questions that may have come up during the session. I know one of them that I did see was a question about cost of reservoirs. See here, I'm going to just go up to the top and see what I can do. So the cost to replace the glass reservoir on a D50 is $500. And so if anyone was curious about that, now that's USD. Don't quote me if that's Canada. But if you have, that's the one thing I do know. Someone did ask if they wanted to watch the webinar again. It is recorded. Yes, it is. And you will be getting a email with that information to watch as well.
Sorry, one thing regarding the cost of the reservoir, Jeff, we'll get back to you on that.
Yeah, absolutely. And then
we have a question here. Do you ever see any damage from the parts falling into the part basket after automatic removal?
For me, no, I don't see damage from the part basket. Is it occasionally that you can see some damage from when the blade was actually cutting off? Yes, I have seen that. And usually that means your burn-in time is a little bit too much, and we can reduce that down then to give you a better cut. That's not a very common thing. And usually I see that when I've working with a customer who's decided to change the settings of the resin that they're working with. But for the most part, no. Everything from a model perspective is fine. Have you ever experienced that, Evan?
No, same thing on our end. Everything once the ASM kind of finishes its job. Right now, our build platform is completely clean. We haven't changed any of the parameters with that. As far as the splints of the models falling in, we've seen no damage to that.
Yeah. I have a question from Adam asking us what are you cleaning models with prior to cure? So we are using 99% IPA to clean our models. We follow the manufacturer's guidelines. And the nice thing about Rapid Shape is we do have a completely validated workflow. So if you purchase our wash, it actually is all pre-programmed in there for you. So you don't even have to look up times. It is already known based off of the settings the manufacturer has set.
Yeah, the other thing with that is there is the Rapid Shape wash. This is a fantastic system that, like Kelly said, is pre-programmed, but the workflow travels throughout. So if you have a job that you've put in through your Rapid Shape D50, we'll just call that job Crown and Bridge models. That job will actually be visible on the wash and the cure. So as you're putting it in through your slicing software, it knows what resin it is, and therefore knows the the post-processing parameters. What ends up happening with the wash, it's a little desktop unit. It's got two bottles of two availabilities for IPA. Same thing, we use 99% as well. And Adam, what ends up happening is you put the models, the splints, whatever you're using, you basically put it into the chamber, and when everything starts, it actually puts in IPA, it washes it, it sucks all of the first version IPA out, puts in new clean IPA, washes it, and then sucks everything out. The huge advantage with that is that same thing. You don't have to have somebody with a timer going, oh, I left my splints in for 25 minutes. The splints or the models or whatever you're printing will actually stay in the wash, not submerged in alcohol.
I don't know if you guys have ever walked away, forgotten about it, and then come back an hour later, and then you're just repeating your print because you've now compromised it. That's a frustrating place to be. So it's really nice that they take that away from you and you can't make that mistake. Chris asked, do the automatic separation knives have to be replaced? And if so, what interval? And the answer is yes. That we call it a blade, and the blade needs to be replaced usually around about 600 prints. So if you do purchase, we have accessory packages that come with extra blades. And so that is a really nice thing. If you haven't seen our accessory packages, we didn't really showcase it today, but right back here this is actually a locker that holds your reservoirs. They're very nice. They actually do a phenomenal job containing the smell of your resins as well. And that, if you were to purchase the accessory, it comes with 4 additional reservoirs, the holder for the reservoirs. It comes with 3 additional blades, along with the tubings for pumping in directly from your resin into the reservoir. All right. And trying to see if we have any other questions. Thanks, Julia. She likes my setup. Appreciate it. All right. I think that we have covered all of the questions that you guys have. We want to thank you for your time today. I hope that you found this informative and helpful. Oh, it looks like I have one more new message. Oh, someone said thank you. So thank you guys. Have a wonderful day. Enjoy your Thanksgiving break for those in the US. Evan, do y'all do anything like that? Do y'all have a Thanksgiving in Canada?
We did. It was, we've already had it. Yeah.
Oh, lovely. All right. Well, thank you guys. I hope y'all have a wonderful day. Y'all have a great one.
Thank you, everyone.